This video by Beware, I had to do it very quickly because I just realized this one is probably even more important than his last one. Because this shows you that these guys are self-destructive, self-sabotaging. Let me show you what I mean.
In viewership, with 14 million people watching, likely due to all of the publicity surrounding the introduction of our first female doctor, Jodie Whittaker. But as Series 11 continued to air, while the views were still very high compared to previous seasons, there seemed to be a growing fan consensus that something was off about the show. Much of this criticism was denounced as the work of trolls, sexist fans of the show that hated it now that there was a woman at the helm. And while I think this is partially true, it isn't the primary reason for the negative reception that this season.
Well, you would be wrong. It's not partially true. For one thing, for them to be trolls, they would have to be saying it just to get people annoyed, right? But it's so obviously true. Sherlock Holmes, for example, is a male character, and you can't have Sherlock Holmes as a woman because it wouldn't be Sherlock Holmes. Beware. Are you telling me they could change the sex of Miss Marple, for example, and and still be Miss Marple? Of course not, because Miss Marple is a female, and men never try to do that. But if they ever did, guess what? The women would come up who love Miss Marple and tell them that they are sexist, because it is sexist to change the sex of a well-known character, because the changing of the sex was done to piss off the male fans. That's a fact. And Doctor Who is male. And the thing is, even if you wanted to show it that way, that is, show Doctor Who as someone who's capable of being male or female, you would have to have done it long, long ago, like the third or fourth Doctor. After 12 male doctors, you'd have to ask, why are they not showing a female all that time? So obviously that even if you can say that they can choose their sex, if they don't choose their sex, the nature is to remain their original sex. But in any event, the Doctor Who is a male character, and you erase him by changing him to female, right? Now, the other thing is, why are you showing this type of guy? For the people that say, oh, stand up for themselves and say, no, it's not true. It isn't true, right? The Doctor is not female. It's not true that he's a female character. You're showing people that, guys here, that women do not find attractive and therefore don't date or validate. So you, by your own admission, you're saying that a guy who does get dates, who is validated by the opposite sex, would never point out the obvious. They would never say the truth. So you're admitting yourself that if you had a girlfriend that told you to eat shit, you would open your mouth. You know, and this is the case of this. I hear this all the time. These guys can't get laid, right? Because if they could get laid, they would have no backbone. They would have no self-respect. They would be willing to sell off everything about themselves to pander to the woman that they are with. You've admitted that with this attitude you're showing here.
Generations, he is typically pretty consistent inside a single regeneration. If the Ninth Doctor disapproves of something in episode 3, he'll probably disapprove of it in episode 8, unless there's some clear character development going on. This brings us to our problem. 13 does not have a consistent morality within her own series.
I disagree. 13 has perfect consistency. Woman good, man bad. It's perfectly consistent in her whole series. You are pushing your male ideas onto a female brain. This is the gender KKK that's taken over Doctor Who, and they're very consistent in their message. Beware. Do you understand? The consistent is woman good, man bad, and the purpose is to trash the male fans of it. That if you're a fan of Doctor Who, that you're the target audience. You're a scumbag because you were born male. Get it? So it's perfectly consistent.
13 does not want to kill. She is against killing people, against killing animals, against letting other people kill. She just doesn't like death. Okay, that's good. That is a very doctory scruple to have. That said, her stipulations on what it means to kill something are vague and nebulous. In her debut episode, the evil Tim Shaw is trying to hunt down.
Actually, they're not vague though, when you consider it's a feminist ideology. And I'll show what you mean. I'll show you what I mean.
And murder an innocent human man. In trying to stop him, the doctor and her companions receive neck implant bombs that will kill them if they interfere. When the doctor confronts Tim Shaw, he tries to blow her up, but surprise, she actually diverted the bombs back onto him. They detonate and slowly start to unravel him from the inside. As the doctor stands over his dying body, the man Tim Shaw was after kicks him off the crane they were standing on, sending him plummeting until he warps away. The doctor then takes this moment to be furious with the man, claiming that he had no right to do that, to kill Tim Shaw.
Of course he doesn't. This isn't being hypocritical. She's female, he's male. He has to follow rules. She doesn't. Do you understand? Beware. He has to show some kind of morality. Gods do not follow morality. That's for mere mortals. And this is the difference. And so it's not hypocritical, is it? It fits in perfectly with the message of this series since the 13th Doctor took over. Yeah. And this is why not just you, but so many male YouTubers are so confused. They can't figure it out. It's only confusing when you deny what's going on. But when you see what's going on, it's all very simple and it's all very clear. It's very simple and clear to me. All right. Now, remember this skit with Rowan Atkinson where they actually had the doctor turn into a woman? I actually was intrigued by that because I was thinking, I wonder what it'd be like if the doctor took on a female role. Because the point of the skit was not to crap on the male fans, was it? And I like the actress who they brought up here. I love her and her stuff. But in the end, if someone said, would you make one like the series with a female? I said, no. Any more than I'd want to see Miss Marple series with Miss Marple, Mr. Marple. Understand? Because Miss Marple, will cease to be who she is if you change her sex. And it's the same with Doctor Who. I mean, here's a good comparison. You see Superman, Supergirl here? They want Supergirl. They make her own character. And she stands on the strength of her own. Superman is not stolen away. If you just stop making Superman and you made Supergirl, that would be it. Superman would be gone. And also, this is a grown-up thing to happen. Little boys who read Superman didn't care that there was a Supergirl. It was the grown men who made Superman, Supergirl, decide to make Supergirl. It's kind of a man's thing to want to see their icon converted into, a sexy female character, right? Little girls don't have this compulsion. And women don't have this compulsion, right? So you don't see any, you don't see a Wonder Man, for example. Uh, But I'm getting away from my point, I guess. I think we'll end it here. I just want to point out that for you to turn around and suggest that the guys who stand up for themselves and say the sky is blue are trolls and that they're, sexist, this is pathetic. That changing the doctor into a woman is the sexism, not the guy saying that the sky is blue. And so guys like you are part of the problem. You make things worse. So thank you.